Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where, hey, we're back. We're better than ever. Back to the regular wrestling programs. Sorry I was off for a week. I had some social obligations that I knew I wasn't going to be around for wrestling, so I had to make a sacrifice for a week, but now we are back. First episode back in action. And today we are going to be covering NWA Power and AEW Dynamite. A couple of very interesting shows. We shall get into it post-haste. So we start with NWA Power. And we start off with a first round matchup in the Crockett Cup. If you don't know, this is NWA's annual tag team tournament. We do have some random tag teams, but also some very interesting tag teams. So, first round matchup, definitely a bit of a random tag team. We got Zion teaming up with Bones, who, this is my first time seeing Bones. This dude is, he's kind of giving up off Papa Shango meets the Boogeyman vibes. Although he can wrestle pretty well. So they take on Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the Good Brothers. And like I said, Bones starting us off. He started off really, really well. Eventually fall into the Good Brothers trap. Zion tags in, gets some stuff in, but eventually after a neck breaker, we got a Magic Killer and a 1-2 sweet for the win for the Good Brothers. So then we get a Good Brothers in-ring interview immediately after, with Anderson saying 40 years of the Crockett Cup coming up, and the world famous Good Brothers, the Cup has eluded us the entire time, but in 2026, the Good Brothers are here to take over the NWA, and it's going to be the same old classic recipe: a Magic Killer, a 1-2-3, and a just 2 sweet. So Gallows and Anderson, Good Brothers, clear goals, and on to the next round in a decent match. I wouldn't say it's anything to write home about, but it was fun. Then we get this weird Haley J promo where she's like talking to her dog who like apparently pooped in the women's locker room, but she's blaming it on Kylie Page for some reason. Which, I don't know. This promo was weird, and it's a weird setup for a match, which we'll see a little bit later on. But our next match, nothing from the Crockett Cup. Instead, it's junior heavyweight action. We get the debut of Will Austin taking on Damian Fenrir. And I'm going to say this. This definitely felt like early 2000s TNA X Division style. While it was very, very quick and well paced, there was definitely some very interesting movesets. But after a huge powerbomb, your winner is Damian Fenrir. In a short but impactful match, I'm going to say that. So then we get a backstage promo from Serena Veal. She is going to be going after Kenzie Page next week, which is very interesting. Saying, your time up here on top is up. I'm going to prove that I'm the best. So either you're going to turn the page or I'm gonna take your head, which that's a great line. So that's definitely a decently built feud coming up. Then we get this weird segment. We got all three Kazanas. We got Joe, AJ, and KC. They're all packed in a tattoo shop. It looks like AJ wants either he said he wants a Muppet tattoo, or he said he wanted a Goofy tattoo. But then his brother's Casey is like, oh, give me this one. You should go to this one, pointing to a skull or something. Then Joe goes to I want to say it was a cashier. Could have been a tattoo worker too. Saying, why do you look so familiar? Tattoo artist or whatever said, oh, I used to work down here. I forget what promotion she said. And then you see kind of a look in Joe's eyes saying, oh, yeah, I remember. I actually wrestled with Ric Flair there once. Beat him, too. That's going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to include her in the Kazana family? I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I guess we'll see. Then, go back to the ring for a Colby Corino interview. With the interviewer trying to get an update. With Colby saying, I've been growing up in the business. I thought I knew what I was fighting for. But the hardest battle I've had to go through is up here. Up in his brain. Every morning I would struggle out of bed, look myself in the mirror, and thought I wasn't worth it. Without wrestling, I feel like I'm worthless. I'm terrified of leaving my house because of what everyone here would say. But I come here, and you remind me I went from a bum to the world champ level. I'll be damned if that's the end of my story here. Southern Six music hits. It's just Kerry Morton and Alex Taylor, who are still definitely at odds. They get in the ring. Kerry gets the microphone and says, poor little Colby Corino, always crying about something. But you don't have us fooled. You're a faker and a coward. And Colby came... We know these people didn't come to see you. They came to watch the Southern Six. They don't give a damn about you. And last time we faced each other, you embarrassed me. And you hit my no-no spot. I can't believe that came out of a person's mouth. Don't say that. Talk like an adult. Please. Although I guess that's Kerry Morton's point. He's childish. Kerry continues, you hurt me. It's time to hurt you back. We're gonna make sure you keep that handicap sticker on your card. God damn. So, Southern Six are about to jump Colby Corino. Brian Idol comes out, makes the save, and that ends that segment. And look, I love that we're getting little updates on Colby Corino. Can we actually get some information, please? I'm not asking for much. Just a little bit of information about a potential in-ring return. So then, we go back to the tattoo shop with the Kazanas. AJ's all hooked up. He's ready to go. Artist is about to put needle to canvas, I guess. Then unlocks Tom Latimer and Natalia Markova, which that is the weirdest pairing I think I've ever seen. Now, for you who aren't in the know, Markova and Idol seem to be an item. At least I think they are. On screen, they are definitely a thing. But I'm not sure if they are in real life. Someone please tell me about that. Then Latimer is with... He was with Mickie James for a little bit. No, Magnus is... That's right. Nick Aldis is with Mickie James now. That's right. I guess it's not that odd then. Never mind. So, Latimer pretty says, look, we don't want to bother you much. We're just looking for a good place to eat. But considering we're here, you certainly got a big ego for someone who never won the world title. Didn't Joe mention something about Doc Holliday? I didn't really catch it because that dude talks way too fast. Like, dang. So, KC steps up, says, you come in here and you talk all that shit. We're gonna teach you a lesson. So, mixed tag coming up? I don't know what that's gonna be, but could be interesting. Then we got NWA's newest team, although on NWA proper. I guess they've been in the different territories that make up the NWA. We got Valor and Eddie. I didn't really catch their first names. But they're pretty much like, while we did lose in the qualifier match last week, we've come to NWA to show we weren't a fluke. So we definitely got a goal for these two guys. Not sure if we're going to get them in a tag title feud, maybe for the US tag titles. From what I've seen of them, they're actually very good. They got the vibes of the Motor City Machine Guns, which definitely miss seeing them. So next matchup, finally we get to another match, which it kind of feels like it's been an hour. We got another Crockett Cup first round matchup, as it's Red, White, and Jacked. So it's Wrecking Ball Legursky teaming up with JAC, who, I forget his full name. It's very, very long and very, very double first name, if you know what I mean. As they take on Primo and Epico, the Colones. Good to see the Colones back in the NWA. And this went pretty David and Goliath, if you know what I mean. Like, the big guys dominated for a little while. Little guys were, like, trying to outspeed the bigger guys. Eventually, they do get an advantage with a couple of drop kicks. Big chop. JAC eats a big old backstabber from Primo and a frog splash from Epico for the Colones to pick up the win. So, Colones moving on. They were finalists for the Crockett Cup last year. Wouldn't mind seeing them there again. Then we got a promo from 2/3 of the Holy Grail. EC3 isn't there. I guess this is the start of EC3 moving to free agency, which, that's fine. Do what you want. So, now they're looking for someone new, and they've added the most generic looking dude I think I've ever seen in Hayden Buckland, who pretty much just walks up and just says, let's go win the Crockett Cup. Which, nice, easy, to the point. And then we go back to Dr. Vic's abode. He's sitting in a living room with Greta, who is the tag partner / muscle behind Tiffany Nieves. So Vic turns to Greta as, I thought Tiffany would be here by now. I'm gonna have some A-list names in here, like Jelly Roll, Barbara Streisand, and Dr. Dreyer. I don't know who Dr. Dreyer is. Did he mean Dr. Dre? I don't know. So Greta turns to him, and the first time in a while I've heard her speak, which was the first time I saw her, which was months ago, she says, he's dead. So Dr. Vic turns to her and goes, oh. Then he kind of starts doing his, like, creepy reverse psychology thing. Like, I don't fully understand it, but it's creepy. Then he finally asks, Tiffany is coming tonight, right? Like, I'm going to say this. As an outside observer, Dr. Vic's treatment of Tiffany Nieves is stalkerish. Like, I have seen more than enough daytime TV. Dr. Vic is definitely stalking and trying to manipulate Tiffany Nieves. It's clear. And honestly, I just want to see Tiffany slap that taste out of his mouth again. So, I don't know. Either way, he needs to be put in his place. Next up, relatively short match between Carson Drake and Chico Adams, which is a great name for a wrestler. I thought he'd have a lucha mask, but apparently not. This was a decent back and forth, but ultimately Carson Drake wins with the leg sweep, which is very interesting. Then we get the other members of the Federation of Champions. No slime balls, though, which is very interesting. So it's just Mike Mondo, Slade, Mondo, Slade, the Drakes, both Drakes, Carson and Lockjaw, and I forget Damian Sandow's NWA name. I legit... Anyway. They get in the ring, and then we get an interview. As Aaron Stevens, that's his name. Stevens says, I could be at home, licking my wounds, but NWA gives me... Actually, this is Carson Drake. NWA gives me jobbers like that. I'll take it every day of the week. So then Aaron Stevens gets on the microphone and says, the Crockett Cup is upon us, and I got not just one, but 2 teams in the tournament. I'm the greatest manager the NWA has ever seen, and I'm going to be the manager of Crockett Cup winners. And these 2 teams give me as many chances at twice as many chances as of winning. We're going to focus on winning the cup. And then Carson Drake is going to get the NWA World title. Let's handle some business. So, nice, easy segment. Introducing the 2 teams from Steven's crew. Although I'm wondering where the slime balls are. Oh well, I'm sure they'll be in the tournament. We then go backstage for a promo from the Page Sisters, with Kenzie starting up saying, I forget, it's for Tia Piper's partner. I forget her name, I'm sorry. Gonna make this week your official welcome to the NWA. I'm gonna make sure I bury you next week. Damn. Then we hear from Kylie talking about Hollywood Haley J, saying, "This week I got you this week, and I did step in that dog's in the locker room. I haven't cleaned it off my boots, so I'm gonna make sure you get a taste." Which, that's honestly disgusting. But it's, whatever. And then Kenzie's like, "Wait, you're not ready to go. You're not dressed." So Kylie's panicking a little, then she runs off screen. Nice little character moment from the Page sisters. We'll see if we build on that or something else happens. So next we go back to Dr. Vic's abode, and he's with Tiffany Nieves. And Vic's like, "I understand why she's here," pointing to Markova, "but why did you invite him?" Tiffany then answers, "Well, champions rolling with champions, and he's the biggest champion I know." The camera pans, and it's Thrillbilly Silas Mason, the World Heavyweight Champion. And he says, "Now you got the La Princesa, now you get the kingdom." Which, awesome line. That was great. So, it looks like Tiffany Nieves and Thrillbilly might be a pairing. Or at least Thrillbilly is going to protect Nieves, which I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. I kind of hope Nieves handles her own stuff, because that's just her character. And having Thrillbilly do it kind of feels very against her character. And more like, oh, women against man. The woman can't defend herself, etc., etc. I think Tiffany can handle Dr. Vic no problem. Anyway, moving away from that. Actually, before I do, NWA, make sure to handle this delicately. Because I know more than a couple people who went through stuff like this, and it left them... It left their mark, to say their least. So, please go carefully with this. Anyway, we go to a Natalia Markova promo, saying someone was trying to build themselves up last week, and Tiffany, you hid behind your giant. You can't do that anymore. The focus should be against me right here. And I doubt you'll make me tap. So we got the TV type champion versus the world champion coming up. I don't think Tiffany has hit the lucky 7 yet. Although, that might not be a woman's title thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, then we go to our main event of the evening. So we got Hollywood Haley J taking on Kaylee Page. And this match, while very entertaining, they took a lot of time trying to do the big boot spot with the poop on Kaylee Page's shoe. And yeah, it was definitely a nice little back and forth. But after a big old knee, your winner is Kaylee Page. Post-match, Haley J attacks Kaylee. And Kylie's father, who was sitting ringside, comes in, breaks it up. So, definitely a very interesting show. Definitely moves some stories along. Some decent matches. I'm going to say it wasn't a lot to write home about, but we are in the process of the Crockett Cup. We got some interesting feuds going on. And then we got the Dr. Vic stuff, which I know will get people talking, but like I said, NWA, Billy Corgan, whoever's in charge of creative, please handle this with care. I don't want this to be another Billy and Chuck moment. If you don't know about that, Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo were tag team partners in WWE in I want to say 04, 05, somewhere in there. And they were teasing they were more than just tag partners, if you know what I mean. They even had a wedding segment, which I know it's bros coming together. It was a wedding. And then right before they sealed the deal, they pretty much pointed the camera, gotcha, which, honestly, that segment was mostly to make Vince McMahon laugh, which, no, don't be, NWA, don't be like that. Handle this situation with care and turn it into something uplifting. All I'm going to say. And then we are going to finish off our week with AEW Dynamite. And we kick off with probably a match I feel like should have been the main event. But kicking us off, we got Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland. And there's a couple of stipulations to this. Because if Kenny Omega wins, he gets Swerve's number one contendership for the world title. If Swerve wins, he gets Kenny Omega's EVP powers. Although, that's a little confusing because Swerve already kind of has the Young Bucks EVP powers. So, I'm not sure what the point of this is. Anyway, yeah, this match absolutely ruled. Definitely another early match of the year candidate for me. Really good back and forth. Swerve blocked the one-winged angel a couple times, including a one off the top rope, which was absolutely crazy. Near the end, Swerve hit the Vertebreaker, only for 2, which, I'm going to say this, Swerve being the one to bring the Vertebreaker back into wrestling, that's honestly nuts. Misses on a Swerve stomp, Kenny with a big knee, a V-trigger, and a one-winged angel for the 1, 2, 3. So your winner, Mr. Kenneth Omega. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to say this. Take a couple minutes out of your day after work or over the weekend. Go watch this match. It was perfection. So, after that beautiful match, we get a Darby Allin vignette. Hyping up his upcoming match with Roosh, which we're going to get to that one in a little bit. But before that, we get a backstage Will Ospreay promo, where he basically says, Pac, I'll see you next week. But Moxley, I'll see you. I want you at Dynasty. You mother... Which... I've seen some really nice Will Ospreay promos where he's a little bit more silly and jovial. This serious Will Ospreay, I'm genuinely terrified of. Like, serious Will Ospreay, you know you're in for a fight. So, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Next up, we got a little mixed tag team action. So we got the Death Riders being represented by Jon Moxley, Daniel Garcia, and not Raquel Rodriguez, that's not her, Marina Shafir, taking on Darius and Dante Martin of Top Flight, and their newest kind of member for the overall stable, it's Zeta Steele, who, this is my first time watching her wrestle. I know she's been on a part of the WWE program, and I think she was on Evolve for a little bit. But she recently became a free agent, and now she's in AEW. And I'm going to tell you, she showed out this matchup. But before the match begins, the Death Riders jump top flight before the bell. Eventually, things calm down. We get to the tag match, which definitely a lot of fun. Really good six-person tag action. One point we see Zeta Steel on the attack, but Yuta, who's on the outside, grabs her leg, stops her. Mox tags in. He and Shafir are looking for a doomsday device, but Top Flight got in the way. Garcia tags in, just suplexes both of them. Dante and Darius tag in with a pretty good combination. Then on the outside, we see Wheeler Yuta hit a Busaiku knee on Christopher Daniels, which that is his first bump in a while. So we'll see if that gets him back in the ring. We got some more nice little back and forth with eventually Daniel Garcia locking I think it was Dante in the Dragon Tamer. Holds him in that for a little bit. Then Moxley comes over, hits a big old curb stomp for the Death Riders win. And yeah, that was a very entertaining match. Hopefully we get to see more of Top Flight coming soon, because I miss seeing them on my TV. So Moxley picks up on the mic, says, "Mr. Ospreay, it's nice, not so nice to say mean things on TV. I know you're upset now. Whatever issue you think you have with us, with me, it's nothing personal. You want the match at the pay-per-view, you're on. But until then, don't let your mouth get you in trouble." Which, nice, easy, to the point. I'm going to say something that might skeeve a couple AEW fans off. I think now's a fine time to bring in an on-screen authority figure. Now, I'm not saying he needs to get involved. They need to get involved in stories, but to negotiate and get matches booked. I feel like that would add to AEW's presentation. And it could be a former wrestler. It could be Mick Foley, Shane McMahon, could be me. I nominate myself as AEW GM. But I'm kind of kidding. But yeah, I just see hearing Tony Schiavone 1 minute saying, "Oh, will this match get booked?" Then all of a sudden, bing! The match image comes on screen. I don't know. It feels not cheap, but it feels unearned. I feel like there should be a little bit more negotiation, a little more drama to it. And like I said, it would add to the presentation. And it doesn't even have to be long segments. Give me a 1 to 2 minute segment where we see the GM go into Tony Khan's office. You hear him talk for a second. It cuts. Then some point later on before the main event, you have a GM interview where they say match is made official. And then they unveil the match image. That's all I'm saying. Little things, that's what I love about AEW. The little things go a long way for them. But I think this could be a very, very big thing for them. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Then we go for a Young Bucks promo. They're saying, 2026 is our year. And we haven't slept till since Revolution. After a loss, we usually lick our wounds and come back. Our goal is still the AEW Tag Team Championships. And 2026 is going to be the year we do it. So, yeah, it looks like we got some rebuilding of the Young Bucks. I am absolutely here for it. Next up, a big surprise. Maybe not a squash match, but it was a surprisingly quick match between Speedball Mike Bailey and Rocky Romero. This match went quick. Rocky maybe got 2 moves of offense, including an eye rake. But then Mike Bailey, with a pair of tornado kicks, hits the Ultima Weapon, which that is going to be my favorite move he does. It is insane to pick up the win. Like I said, a surprisingly short match that I don't really mind. So next we see some highlights from the Revolution main event, which was the Texas Death Match between Hangman Adam Page and MJF. Intermittent with some promos post-match from these two. And then we get the MJF in-ring promo. And I'm going to say this right now. This little thing skeeves me off every time I hear it. When I hear a heel or anyone else, cut my music, cut my music. They're going to do that in a second anyway. You don't need to say it every time. Now, MJF, I don't mind saying it, because it fits his character. We don't need Brody King saying it. We don't need Jay Lethal saying it. We don't need Jeff Jarrett saying it. You get it. We don't need him. So, cut that to at least MJF. So, MJF starts, I'm still the world heavyweight champion. And I'm the man who hanged the hangman. Which, nice little line. And then MJF with the most obnoxious line ever. Thanks to me, Hangman can't ever, he says ever about 10 times. Maybe more. After his last ever challenge for the AEW World title ever again. And that Revolution, he didn't even put up a fight. It was the easiest match of my career. I'm talking nothing but facts, because I still hold the AEW World title. A title that other men only hope to obtain. There's no other higher honor, and no one who deserves it more than me. And let me tell you why. Because my name is MJF, and I'm better than you, and you know it. Heck, I'm going to double down on the catchphrases tonight, because ain't nobody on the level of the devil. As soon as he said it, Kenny Omega comes out. And as soon as his music hit, I screamed like a little fangirl. Because if you don't know, I was at their last match. It was 2023. It could have been 24. Right before Kenny left to deal with his diverticulitis, which him wrestling with that is wild. And he wrestled MJF for the World Heavyweight title, which was absolutely awesome. Anyway, So, they stare down for a second. Kenny then kind of backs MJF off, grabs a microphone, and says, "Excuse the way I'm dressed and the way I smell. I just had a match. But what's your excuse?" Pointing to MJF, which, funny line. Omega continues, "I hear you talk time and again, and you're acting like you beat the best champion in AEW history. But you haven't. You haven't faced the best bout machine, the god of pro wrestling. And it's never so silly to hear call myself a god, but you all out there do it for me. While you're a great force, there's always a greater force to be had. So at AEW Revolution, I want the devil to face God." Ooh, yeah. Kenny continues, "As I pushed my body to the limit, I obviously needed help. I needed some time off, but I never listened. And I feel responsible to make it up to the fans. And the first time we fought, I was there. You faced a 60% Omega. And that taught me it's not just what happens in the ring, it's what happens all over the arena. And I'm not going to fall for your BS that you have. So at Revolution, you're going to be facing a pretty damn close to 100% Kenny Omega. And MJF, I'm pretty sure I'm better than you." Kenny continues, "And you know what scares you the most? Is that you know it." That sets MJF right off. So he says, "No, this is still Kenny, and if you know it, let's make it official. Let's see who the better man is at Dynasty." So MJF picks up his mic, says, "Dynasty, the God versus the devil, you're on." And as for that handshake, Kenny extends his hand, MJF goes, "Whoop," and walks out of the ring. So, yeah, definitely a very nice setup to a match. Again, I would like to see a little negotiation. That's all. For the setup for this match. All I want. Because again, match graphic up as soon as the segment ends. I feel like there's no drama with it. There's no how do I say this? There's no real build up to the announcement of the match. It's just, oh, you want the match? Here you go, done and done. I'd like a little bit more with the setup. That's all. Anyway, then we go backstage for a Adam Copeland Christian Cage interview. And they start with Cage who says, "Life is about making choices to end friendships with Cope. You chose to pile drive Cope's wife and me, and that's unforgivable." So Cage walks off. Interviewer turns to Copeland, who says, "He's such an asshole. But I know two bigger assholes." Obviously, TBS bleeped that. Cope continues, "You two threw away our friendship. You came to me. You were in my house. You ate my food. You met my kids. Our kids go to the same school. And you're going to throw away our history? Look, I get it. You decided to put hands on Beth. was just, uh, what did I try to say here? Cope continues. Anyway, really want to throw all that away? Well, after our match, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna end your careers. So then we cut to the ring for an FTR promo, with Stokely starting off saying, I could care less about what Cope and Cage have to say, but I do care about what FTR have to say. And they pretty much say the same thing Cope just did. Like, it's super weird. So, I think this is Cash saying, you opened doors for me, but I don't need you anymore. This is my family now. This is FTR's time. We are living legends now, and neither of you are the men you are. You're nothing more but a nostalgia act. Which, that was a funny line. So Dax takes the microphone and says, we loved your wife, but what we did to her made you question yourself. Think what we did to Beth was bad? Imagine what we'll do to you. So, yeah, that's kind of it. I feel like the FTR part of this could have been an email. Like, it was kind of pointless. I did like a couple of lines in it, but good lord, that was... I think I would rather FTR walk up on both of them and just attack them. Like, give us something like that. Next, we get a little tagged. As FTR are walking out the ramp, we got Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy of the Conglomeration come out. And then we see the two teams getting a little shoving match before security came, broke them up. Conglomeration goes to the ring to await their opponents for the evening, David Finlay and Clark Connors of the Dogs. And this was a fun little tag team match. Like, really good back and forth. I wouldn't say it was the most interesting match of the night, but it was definitely a fun match. Where we had, near the end, Cassidy going for an orange punch. Connors ducks it, hits a big old spear. Misses a spear, actually. Finlay then gets behind Orange Cassidy, hits a chop block. And the Dogs with the full clip, which is a great name for a finisher, to pick up the win. So, yeah, we're going to see what this feud is going to be all about going forward. Are we ever going to see Gabe Kidd again? Because right now, he's in a casket. So, yeah. Definitely a fun matchup. Maybe not so much a necessary one. Next up, we got a Divine Dominion promo, which that's Lena Cross and Megan Bayne, your women's tag team champions, saying to the Babes of Wrath, what do we have to talk about? You're suffering from greed and false confidence. You're nothing more than a joke, Harley. You should just go back to playing with your puppets. We're not giving you another chance. You're just going to be another fatality. Which, great line. Awesome delivery. I'm hyped for this little rematch coming up. Then we get this interesting little promo from Kyle Fletcher. He's in like some back rooms in the arena somewhere, where he says, I made my third defense of the TNT title against my mentor, my trainer, Robbie Eagles. And I'm as good as they say. But I've been too narrow-minded. I've been undefeated in singles action. But I'm not too happy about the Callis family's alignment with MJF. So I'm a man to do so. I have one piece of business to handle. So then Takeshita walks in with him saying, I don't like Okada. Fletcher then replies, I know you don't like Okada. I know you really don't like me. But let's make sure nothing gets between us. Goto Shida? And Takeshita says, Goto Shida. So, it looks like they're going to be teaming up in the near future. And maybe together breaking away from the Callis family, which honestly I'd be all for. This could also be a setup by Kyle Fletcher, which, we'll see. Also adds a nice little dynamic to the MJF situation, in which MJF has been using the Callis family as like minions to carry out his plans, which could be pretty interesting going forward. Next up, we got the AEW Women's title on the line as Mina Chirakawa challenges Thekla. And before the match starts, we see the gruesome image of Toni Storm being taken out by someone. There are definitely clues in that picture, although stuff is not fitting right now. But we'll see what happens. And to Miss Toni Storm, I hope whatever you're dealing with, whatever ails you, I hope you heal up soon. We're gonna miss you. So, this match was a little odd. Like, not saying bad, but the flow of it in the beginning was good, but it kind of felt like it didn't get out of second gear a little. Like, it was fine, but overall, it was kind of basic, as Thekla was trying to cheat near the end, taking off her, regular belt, not the title belt. She was going to whip Mina Shirakawa with it. The ref grabs it, throws it to the outside. And as the ref is doing that, Thekla digs in her trunks, takes out some really nasty looking brass knuckles. And I mean, they were nasty looking. So Thekla goes for the KO punch. Shirakawa ducks it. Shirakawa goes for a suplex, but that gets stopped by Thekla, who then uses the brass knuckles. KO punch to Mina Shirakawa. And then Thekla goes in the cover for the 1, 2, 3, and the title retention. Then we get Sky Blue and Julia Hart come out, celebrate with Thekla. So I'm not sure what she's going to be doing at the pay-per-view. I kind of hope she has a decent challenger lined up. But these matches have been really interesting. Are they best matches on the show? Absolutely not. Are they very entertaining and a little different from what AEW usually does? Absolutely. Which I am always here for. Then we go backstage to a Kenny Omega interview in which we hear there's going to be a contract signing next week. Which, alright, fine. We haven't had a good contract signing in a while. So Kenny kind of scoffs at it, says leave it to MJF to add a stipulation to a situation. It's been a while since I was in this position to challenge for the AEW World title, but it still sounds odd if it's my time at Dynasty, I'll be the guy to do it. Before he can get another word out, Speedball Mike Bailey walks in. Says, you've earned a spot. But when you do beat MJF, I'm next in line. And I'd like to do nothing but shake your hand. Mike Bailey extends it. Kenny Omega meets it in the middle. They shake for a little awkward time, which I thought was funny. Yeah, even if it's not for the AEW World title, I would still love to see this match. Like, easily. Injected into my veins. And it's also very clear we have some sort of plan for Speedball Mike Bailey, which is always good. So, next we see the Demand there in the back, where Ricochet apologizes for his bad behavior recently. He's still mad at AEW for screwing him over, for putting him in the gauntlet match for his title that he never lost, was never pinned for, yet Jack Perry is out here holding my title hostage. And Kenny Omega is just given a match after he wins one other match. For what? Kenny, last time we faced each other, I knocked your block off. So we're not just standing pat. We're going to beat everyone who stands in our way. So, nice little direction for the Demand. I'm kind of hopeful they're the ones to dethrone Speedball, Kevin Knight, and Mystico. Although maybe not yet. Maybe in the near future. But I could see it happening. So then that brings us to our main event of the evening. It is a no count out match. So that means can brawl all around the arena, but there is DQ, so no weapons. As we get Rush taking on Darby Allin. Rush attacks Darby before the bell, and this was almost murder. Like, Rush had advantage pretty much throughout the match. Darby fought back here and there, including a nasty code red for a 2 count. Rush attempts the bullhorns, but misses. Darby with a roll-up to pick up the win. Then, as he's celebrating, we see Mark Davis come out, attack Darby. Then we see other members of the Callis family get involved. But then we also see something very, very interesting. We see Andrade El Idolo on the top of the ramp with Don Callis, and they're just arguing back and forth. Honestly, it's something else. It's really interesting. And then we cut back to the ring. Lance Archer has Darby Allin goozled, hits him with a big old choke slam. So, yeah, it looks like Darby's going to be feuding with the Callis family for a little bit. Not sure if he's going to have allies for it, but I could see some fun stuff coming out of this. So, yeah, that was Dynamite, and that was This Week in Wrestling. Very entertaining week from both promotions. But we got an interesting one with TNA that I'll cover on Monday, along with AEW Collision. Definitely going to be an interesting time. Hopefully you stay tuned for that. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.